part of our thing is here to talk people off the ledge and let them vent. It's like a little therapy session. You get angry, you get passionate, you get upset because the power play was absolutely god-awful, albeit against one of the better penalty kills in the NHL. The Rangers PK is phenomenal. But are you a little upset? You a little pissed off? Let's hit the chats. John, what do we got for us?
We'll start with the super chat from Corey, and then we can take it from the top of the chat and see what we have.
So if we're going by our usual bit, that's a Lundqvist and then the year Luddy retired, 2000. Corey writes, we had almost 20 minutes of power play. These coaches have a history of power play failure across multiple teams that don't include Pavelski. When is enough? Well, half of that statement is blatantly wrong. They don't have a history of power play failure. In fact, the last 2 years, the Stars were
good. I think he may be talking about the coaches.
Okay, but the coaches the last 2 years were?
I think that was the Spott guy and the PD guy.
Were they good on the power play last year?
I think they were lights out last year.
What about the year before that?
But Joe wasn't here.
Joe's not here now.
Right. Maybe start blaming Joe.
I mean, do we want to get angry pitchfork-laden mobs going after Joe?
He can handle it.
Yeah, of course he can, but does he deserve it?
I don't even know how we're going to argue with any of them.
I mean,
I don't.
The final stat line for those that were whining is 17 minutes of penalty minutes or power play time. 0 for 7. I believe officially tracked at 21 shots on the power play on goal. Shots on goal. 21 shots on goal. That's a lot.
Yeah.
No goals. I'd have to go through my notes and tabulate them up. But the one thing, Luddy, in the third period when the Stars had the 5-minute power play, lots of chances. I had 7 quality chances on the power play. You know what I didn't have? High danger.
You know what I didn't have? Play. Listen, it was, what did I say?
What did I tell you?
3 minutes and 22 seconds before they actually entered the zone because they wanted to carry it in, and they wasted 1 minute and 20 seconds or 1.5 minutes almost, and actually I think that was a whistle. So not that was going to change anything, but you know, at the end of the day with all this stuff, yeah, like I said, I'm not going to disagree with anybody on here, but you kind of have to take your hat off to the guy between the pipes. You know, you say a lot of these games are determined by special teams and goaltending. Well, it was goaltending and their special teams.
Boy, we got lots. We have another super chat, John.
Bing bong.
We have a DeSmith and Stanley Cup year from Marshall II. Thank you, Marshall. The sky is falling.
The sky is falling.
It's not, but it wasn't a good night for the power play. It wasn't a good night
needs
for the
to go. Plenty of these.
Yeah, I mean, you could go back to the very beginning. That was that chat submission from Prime Crusader was the first one of our list. Oh, I think Ardell just got chimed in. Do we have another super chat? A little Lundqvist and what the hell is 18? Oh, it's the Man of Steel. How could I have been so clueless? I had a moment of absent-mindedness. There he is. Hi, Sam. There is no pressure applied from the point on the power play. No skating or getting interior to make the D move. It's the personnel. I want 5 or 55 on power play 1. That would be Lundqvist or Harley.
Well, the one thing you know from Lundqvist is he typically shoots the puck. So you know that. And if you're out there as a forward, you might as well get to the front of the net, which is a good thing. Yeah, I agree with Thomas. I like I've said this numerous times. I think Thomas Harley is the best defenseman on the team as far as creating offense from about the top of the circles down. Now, Thomas didn't have a great night tonight, but we give him a pass on that because he's been bedridden for a couple days.
I'm laughing because look at this chat. Lane says the Rangers scored on our power play. Shorthanded goal from Riley Smith. So it's -1 for 7. Oh, man. We got another super chat. Oh, they're fired up tonight. Let's go. We have Bischel and Heiskanen from JT. Controversial take. Spott isn't the problem. Thank you, JT.
Hottest take I've seen in this market since I moved here.
Power play won us the Wild Series 2 years ago with Spott. Missing 1 to 2 upgrades for this team to get back to form.
Yeah, maybe you're going to have to start changing some of the personnel around, you know? Yeah, but the other thing here, the whole Steve Spott thing, don't think that the other coaches don't have input here, especially the head coach. You know, it's not just Spott goes out there and says, "This is me." It's not the way it works.
Who's ultimately responsible for the team's performance?
Yeah, it'll ultimately be the guy that makes the most money.
It's the head coach.
Yeah, it's the head coach. And if he wanted a different setup or a different formation or a different entry, he could tell the assistant coaches, "This is what I want to do."
Remember the other day we were sitting around talking about how coaches will sit in the offices all the time and talk about, what if we put this guy with this guy? What if we put this line together? We were actually that was the show where I was, and you were talking about putting Stankoven with Ben and Johnson, and I said I'd like to see Dodonov with Duchesne and Marchment, and we said, gosh, coaches do this all the time. I think when they're having special teams trouble, the coaches don't sit around and talk about all the possibilities they could come up with.
Yeah, the only thing, like I think at the end there we were seeing, Steele was out there on the power play, and so they, he was just kind of throwing things at the wind to see if anything could create a spark. But you're taking your best 5, 6, 7 players and you're putting them on the ice, because those are the guys that typically score all the goals and get the good chances and make the nice passes and the plays and everything else. And so the only thing that you can really do, I think, sometimes you just take the guy who's ever the net presence and then you put somebody like that. I wouldn't be opposed to taking somebody like Bischel and put him in front of the net and just plant him there. And
which wouldn't be a bad idea to
that's
cause some trouble, right?
Yeah, I mean, and how do you play him? If I'm on the other side, am I going to try to get in there and move him? No, so you're going to either have to play around him, or you're going to have to play in front of him. Now all of a sudden things will open up behind him. But I'm just saying, you could, because there was a time when things weren't well, and if anybody is still alive, I mean, Darian Hatcher was playing in front of the net on the power play for us a long time ago. So, and Hatch had pretty good hands for a big guy, and but he just took up a lot of space and it was difficult to move around him.
Bruins used to do that with Chara as well back in the day.
Put
him right in front of the net on the power play.
Yeah.
There's another super chat, Owen.
Think outside the box, John. Bing bong us. A little DeSmith and Cup here from William W. Williams. What do you think the W stands for?
I don't know.
Williams?
Maybe?
Yeah, it's got to be, right? William Williams. Well, Willie said, we need Sean Shapiro to fix our line. I love it. That's great.
He's watching.
He's probably watching.
Can he get in the chat thing here?
He could if he wanted to.
Okay, he should.
If he's there, Sean.
He could hold court right now.
I mean, I know Sean would definitely say, I think Sean said it a couple of weeks ago where he said, if any of you people can tell me every single aspect of Steve Spott's job that he does for this team and you still want to fire him, then so be it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than just that. Hey, John, I sent you a text about start time, so I'm keeping us on time. But
okay, sorry.
That's okay. No, we were doing bing bongs, and that's very important. But boy, I don't even know where all the chats are going, because let's see. Too cool for hockey. Spott has killed this team, ruined since the Western Conference Final. And then just incredible that LTIR ain't enough to save this sorry team.
I'd like to see some people go ahead and put your suggestions of who you would have on the power play and where they would be on the ice. Maybe listen, sometimes just something may click. I mean, there may be something that these guys see and we see, and all of a sudden we're like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I mean, should Dodonov be over there playing on a half wall and kind of dancing around a little bit?
He was out there for a bit tonight.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where the best spot is. I mean, I think they're at the point where they're trying to exhaust everything that they possibly can when it comes to guys and putting
bing bang.
Oh, we got another super chat. Kevin Gray, KG, a little.
Kevin, read this out loud at your house, and our mics will probably pick it up.
Yeah, I believe that's a shot at Kevin being loud of voice. A little DeSmith and Cup year not capitalizing on the 5-minute major is inexcusable. Which is worse, Luds, in your mind? Not scoring on a 5-minute major power play, or not scoring on a 90-plus second 5-on-3?
I think the major. I just, I thought they were going to get 2 goals on it, to be totally honest with you. I thought there was 2 goals coming on that. But again, the guy between the pipes had a lot to do with that. But if he's able, the thing that I have a problem with, and he's not Jake Oettinger size. He doesn't look over the top of people, and he doesn't lose his net. He always hangs on there. But maybe you got to take 2 guys and put them in front of him. I mean, if he's seeing everything, get a couple big guys, put them on top of the crease, and then put the other 3 at the top.
And they tried a bunch of different combinations tonight. So just look at the time on ice. I'm going to read through this real quick. Miro played 9 minutes and 37 seconds of power play time. Remember, there was 17 total minutes of power play time. We had Nils Lundqvist, 2:13. Stankoven, 6:10. Jamie Benn, 10:02. a minute 36 for Sam Steele, 11:45 for Robertson. Bork had 2:13. The couple guys with a few seconds, like Lindell had 14 seconds. I wouldn't really count that. Ropehan's 8:07. Marchment 6:52. Wyatt Johnson 10:46. Harley 5:17. Dodonov 2:11. Duchesne 7:44. So basically the ones who didn't were Bischel didn't have any. Oscar Beck had 3 seconds. You've got Colin Blackwell for 3. That's really just coming on at the end of a power play. And then Labushkin and Lindell. That's it. Everybody else got substantial power play time, whether it's a couple minutes or north of 10. So that's trying a lot of different things. Again, I'm not defending the coaches on this. I'm not defending the players because honestly, it's the players first. But, Luds, you talk about maybe we should try some different combinations. A lot of different guys got power play time tonight.
Yeah, but they're not going to fix it just by getting thrown out there tonight.
No.
I'm talking about getting into practices, and working on it. And maybe there's just got to be a couple different guys. Maybe Maverick Bork needs a steady diet of it and see if he's we talk about the kind of player that he can possibly be. And if you're going to throw him out there for 15, 20 seconds, that's really not getting a good look at him. Maybe he needs to be on a power play unit in practice for a couple days and see what he can do.
We have a lot of alcohol comments on the chat. Fusion Mix said, I chose a bad week to quit drinking, man. Noah wrote in, I need a Herman Marshall after that. I believe Lane said, I need a Miller Lite.
I have both up here. I need a Miller Lite.
Devin Frost said, I regret not going to the liquor store today. It's just, and it's on and on and on. There's a lot of angriness about the power play. And another super chat. What do we got? A little Heiskanen Stanley Cup here from Michael Moore. A bunch of good hockey players, but no one great. Robo, Mav, and maybe even Wyatt all up for trade. Go get Eichel type deal done. My overreaction.
Yeah. Wyatt Johnson's not going anywhere. I don't think so.
What about Robo?
You know what? They're not upside down yet. What's the record now? 12 and 11? 12 and 11 maybe?
No. Better than that.
Better
they are
than that?
19 and 13 after the loss tonight.
19 and 13.
Yeah, still in third place in the Central.
So they're not where the New York Rangers are when you're looking at it like that.
By the way, the Avalanche are playing at Anaheim tonight. It was 0-0 late first
you
period.
may wake up tomorrow and they could have flip-flopped.
They could have. Stars do have 3 games in hand on the Avalanche.
But remember, you got to win them.
But you have to win those ones. And they do have a couple head-to-heads. But long way to go. We're in game number 32 tonight. That means there's 50 LUDs still to go.
Yeah, but the problem is we can't get to the 40, 43, 44, 45 and say, we still got a lot of runway left if it continues like this.
We've just left Steve Spott, the Cyclops eyes.
Yeah, I figured you might as well just leave him on the screen.
At some point, yeah, I might as well.
Anybody who hops in is going to know what we're talking about.